Nut.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session
Seven.
seven.
Ooh, is it? It's double sevens.
It's seven.
Is it
seven?
It's 7-7.
Zach, it's destined to be.
Oh,
I didn't even know that.
yeah.
77.
I feel like this is more of an episode 100 for us than episode 100 is gonna be.
And
Like,
can we continue
this-
episode 77 until it hits part 7? Because we're going to have 77 part 1 and 2. So all we got to do is take 77 to a few weeks.
So,
And we could have...
and we get lucky
and-
sevens.
Goodbye, Jacob.
That was weird.
Ah.
I think Discord's being.
Yeah, Discord's having a
Yeah, it's been a
Okay.
little weird tonight. So
little...
we might have to play things by ear. Oh, ow, fuck! I'm being a little weird tonight.
Odie.
Odie's getting me. Odie don't get me. All right, let's play some D&Dizzles. I personally am very excited to see what you guys do tonight. So, let's start things off with a bit of a recap. Excitement.
Was that
Previously.
a recap or a re-snap?
Re-snap.
Uh-oh.
Previously, on the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party had resolved, at least for the time being, the strange curse of contrariness that Matashtai had suffered. Afterwards, the party separated to handle various tasks. Matashtai spent some time at the Temple of Kelivor and then was briefly questioned by the City Watch and fined for disturbing the peace. Bones visited with Ochotu and reviewed how the worm bone was coming along. Ezrah procured some new spell components, and Ashes spent time reviewing the state of the lifted spirits with Sine. Eventually, the party reconvened, and after an odd comment from Sine about the lamplighters, Bones tracked down one of the guild members to see why the tavern lanterns were being lit earlier than normal. The lamplighter was, not cagey, but said that the guild takes care of those that take care of the guild, and left it at that. Meanwhile, Ezrah showed off a new spell that he was working on, Ezrah's Elemental Armor. Eventually, the party rested, and on the morrow, they met to discuss what they would be doing throughout the day. But then they were interrupted by Ajalon, the security dragon they had hired for the tavern, and told that he believed that the tavern had been broken into on the previous night. Upon investigating, the party discovered someone had indeed broken in and had actually poisoned one of their wine barrels, a poison that had left Bones reeling and retching on the floor. Now, Bones was healed quite swiftly, but this alarmed the party, and they set into a flurry of activity. Bones and Ezrah headed to Falconmere Manor in order to find assistance from the druids there in discovering anything that they could about the poison and if anything else was poisoned. There, Melanor Fellbranch actually provided Bones with some scrolls of detect poison. Meanwhile, Matashtai and Ashes hired Vincent Trench to keep an eye on the inn and its surroundings just in case the culprit returned to the scene of the crime. Fearing that neither of them would be able to use the scrolls that they had received from Melanor effectively, Bones and Ezrah headed to the barracks of the Fifth Army, attempting to find Callow, their ranger friend. But Callow was unavailable, and instead they were recognized and aided by a squad from the Fifth. Ashes and Ezrah headed to, or Ashes and Matashtai, headed to the North Ward main watch post.
Can you imagine the alter ego?
And they're met with Barnabas Blastwind and Saith Cromley, the watch members that had been set to investigate the evidence that Vincent Trench had collected about Ash's previous poisoning. Barnabas and Seath were receptive to the information provided by Ashes and Matashtai, but it was obvious that Seath disliked adventurers. Neither watch member was thrilled that the party had left the tavern open either. They seemed to be very concerned about public safety and what might happen if other items were poisoned. But due to Waterdeep's relative leniency when it comes to adventurers, they currently had no authority to shut the party down. They heavily implied, though, that that would change if the party didn't handle the situation quickly. Back at the tavern, everyone gathered while the 5th Army Guards verified that there were no other products poisoned. Unfortunately, the relative inexperience of the guardsman ranger performing the spell kept him from knowing what poisons were used, but he was sure that there were several. Meanwhile, watch investigators began interviewing staff members and collecting evidence. As mid-morning arrives, the party finds themselves in this tense situation. They have pressing matters to attend to down in Undermountain, but a life or death threat has now found them above ground. With their many differing priorities, where will the party's gaze now turn? And that's actually where we're gonna kind of fade back into the scene. You all four are in the lifted spirits. The guardsmen have just left. The watchmen are still around, but they're done with you as far as questioning or anything like that goes.
I know we talked about it before we wrapped. Did the people who had poison expert contacts remove samples from the tampered barrel already, or is that still on the to-do list?
That's a very simple process if that's
I
something
didn't know
you
that
guys
we
want to
had
do.
decided to do that for sure.
So, so you're now all together in the lifted spirits, and Cine is there as well, and there's kind of this this air of, okay, now what? Ball in your court. What do you want to do?
Well, so we discussed last week Matt was going to go sell a bunch of shit, right?
Yeah, so I gotta do some selling, offloading of stuff we picked up.
Okay.
I really want to get in a workday, and I guess we had also talked about liaison with my poison guy.
Okay.
Do you guys still want to pursue that?
It could be a path to figure out what or who is involved in this scenario. If
We just sneak into his house tonight. It's fine.
What?
Yeah, weren't we just gonna sneak into his house tonight?
I mean, we don't know.
I would
who
say
he
that would be
is.
an option if it wasn't for the fact that we already have the authorities involved.
And they're probably watching.
Right. If we never went to them to begin with, that would be one thing.
Yeah, but I'm literally the knight.
Maybe. The rest of us aren't really. Also,
Can't
a
you-
very fluffy night.
Can't you make everyone invisible?
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
Also, it only lasts for 60 seconds.
It does not. Invisibility 1, just normal invisibility lasts for like
I
an
don't
hour.
have normal invisibility, sir.
I
have
did not
greater.
know that. I just assume everyone gets both.
That's a waste of spells, homie, for someone who's limited in their spells.
Agree to disagree. All right, whatever. I get me some poison. I'll go talk to my poison guy,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna get a work day in. Although, hey, just so everyone remembers, right? Didn't they like highly suggest we find some evidence?
I mean, I do feel a little.
How are we gonna find evidence?
I'm
I
really
just assumed y'all told us that.
unimpressed with what Barnabas and Saith have done. They seem to put the responsibility on us more than themselves.
I do remind you guys, it's been 2
2
days since
2
they were
weeks
informed.
Me.
Yeah,
And
well, to us, it's
on the
been
next
3.5
day,
months,
they were
so-
investigating and questioning your staff members. And on the following day, you had another poisoning event.
Did the watch members who were here questioning say anything about intent for the tampered goods?
No, currently they have no authority to do anything. Because again, Waterdeep has some pretty lenient laws when it comes to personal property and adventurers in general. So basically, the Watch's hands are tied until something bad happens. It's actually because you found the poison before anything bad happened, right? Had someone from the public drank it, then they'd have been able to shut you guys down almost immediately. But because that hasn't happened, they're basically, their hands are tied right now. That's why they've given you this kind of like, now we know, now you better figure something else out, or else we're gonna have to shut you down for public safety.
I like that. 8d6. I think the average HP total of any patron walking in is probably around like
That was 10.
14.
No, it's probably
like
less than 6.
5.
It's probably less than 6.
Well, I'm
You
accounting
cannot
for
roll.
when like actual high level people come in that bring that average up.
Yeah, all right, fine. Hey, just so I know, what was the dude's tavern's name?
Yeah, what?
Frunes?
Prunes,
Prune
Brews.
House?
Brews.
Frunes Brews, and that's over on Horn Street.
It's down. It's actually on Delzoran Street. On like its back alley is Troll Skull Alley. It's on the same place. It's just all the way down into
Now-
the west of the alley.
I will say,
Interesting.
Bones, I might be a little
5-10 minutes
against
down the way.
breaking and entering, but I don't think it's anywhere in the laws that says it's illegal to intimidate someone.
I'm pretty sure that's more illegal than the other one. But
Intimidations is
Pull
more
up the
illegal than a
laws and
beating.
bylaws of Waterdeep. I have them somewhere.
look, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna go there, but I'm not gonna say that I'm not. So
Just we already had to pay 200 gold to them today. Let's not do something that would make us have to pay more.
I don't know that I have the handout for the from the dragon heist because the stuff's separated. But
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not
can-
seeing the
I can find it and
legal.
I can find it and send you guys a link.
So
I
before
don't think I would die if I drank that again. What is it? 8d6? That's only 48. I
86.
could drink it again.
Why?
What if we take some to his bar and put it in our glass and then drink it? Yeah.
Deliberately poison ourselves in his establishment.
when we have
So-
already said that he's got
And just
It
make sure that when you're
outlaws.
vomiting black ichor, just spin wildly.
All over the bar.
but before the watch leaves, it doesn't sound like they've left yet.
No, they're still
But
around.
as Ezra would find the commanding officer.
It's just 2
Right.
watch members.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I
they're
would-
both 2 investigators.
I would bring up having some of this as evidence. Do they want to take some with it? With
They've already obtained a vial of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called
Okay. I just want to make sure
forensic.
before we dispose of this. Is there a recommended location to dispose of tampered goods?
The bay.
Not the bay. Absolutely not the bay.
Dump it in the ocean.
There would be what would be considered disposal sites dispersed throughout Waterdeep for various types of things, right? Like they would either be basically they'd be incinerators but they.
Oh, what if we take it out front of Faroon's place and light it on fire? Like as a message. I'm not saying this to the watch people, but like as a message.
They're standing right there, like.
Like he knows what he did. He just sees, because it wouldn't like explode. Or we'll take the top off so it doesn't explode. Okay, it just burns off.
So
like he knows what he did. We write on it. You know what you did.
So we just like put a,
looks
to him a vial that's just burning in front of his establishment.
No, not a vial. The whole keg.
Do you want
the whole keg?
Yeah,
I mean,
the
we
whole
could
keg.
always just go talk to him. Do you want us to go talk? I just want to talk.
No, I want to send a message.
I just want to talk with my fists.
Like magically or metaphorically?
Good thing you have friendly fists now.
All right, here you guys go.
I also have harming ones.
There's a link.
To code legal.
So Ezra would make sure Sine has what he needs to do to remove and dispose of this barrel in accordance with
between something like hiring the services of individuals to transport it and to pay for its disposal, do something like 5 gold.
done.
So
distracted
Sine will assist to or go about the motions of making arrangements for this.
Now we need to figure out security, because clearly we, at least for a couple of days, are in need of protection, or our customers are in need of protection.
I think we just give the guy who caught him a brace.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but in the same vein, do we have an overnight watch or something to further?
I mean,
because he was lucky enough to notice that there was a tampering at our door. There was no one here watching after we closed.
We literally live here.
I mean, yes, kind of. We're not really here very often.
Yeah, if we plan on going back down there and spend a week down there, and they do another one of these, and we're not here to insert ourselves into the situation.
All right. Well, how much does overnight watch cost?
And Sine is a part of this conversation. I've made sure he is aware.
Not the illegal parts, though. I mean, unless.
Okay, gotcha. So for hiring someone, you're talking about like a temporary situation, right? Not like full time.
I would hope so. I would hope in
I don't know, for like
or so.
Like a month or some shit.
A month?
I would say if we can get someone for a 10-day with the potentiality of it being extended based on circumstances.
Damn 1099 contractor.
So what are you looking for as far as experience goes? So are you looking for just a body? Or are you looking for someone who has experience at doing security or guard work? Or are you
bros, I got goblins. We got goblins down in the dungeon.
Good reputation.
We can go get 3-4 goblins. Like, we're good to go.
How many goblins do we see on a regular basis, Topside?
In town,
a couple. Like
there you go, a couple.
Are they socialized and seem like they
pretty
know
heavily?
What
they're rabid and they bite at people as they walk.
The skull takers are not socialized. They take skulls. What do you mean?
That's the difference. Absolutely. The goblins. There are goblins in Waterdeep. There are merchant goblins. There are Well-to-do
Ones that actually
goblins. There are
understand
goblin
commerce.
commoners, but they are goblins that have been. They are city goblins. They're goblins that have been integrated into society and have been part of Waterdeep society for quite some time, for the most part.
I'll be
right?
honest with you too. I just don't have the heart to tell them not to take skulls. So if they catch something,
Which is why we should go a different route in this case.
The
But we'll keep them on retainer if something.
if they
comes
catch
up that
something, i.e., the neighborhood children.
oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
children's skulls. Their
Yeah, this is not
specialty.
Skyrim. Children can die in this.
I would say we want more than just a body.
Okay. So
We-
the tiers, the
that's
job
my
tiers
value.
that you can hire for are green, experienced, veteran, or master. Each successive rank has better bonuses, better skill sets, but each one costs more.
Do we want someone with like a bodyguard skill set or like a muscly type, or do we want a
Don't like
skulker in the shadows?
don't like elves not need to really sleep. Is that a thing they do? I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah, they just require 4 hours of sleep. But if we hire someone to watch during the night, they sleep during the day, and their 8
I mean,
hours
yeah,
of
whatever.
work is making
Let's just
sure.
get like let's get a mid-tier person.
What kind of a person? Do we want a muscly person? Do we want a skulker? Do we want?
We want a rogue. I'll provide them with a knight.
I'm sorry, you're gonna provide them with what?
A knife.
Oh,
At
you
least one.
I thought you said the knight.
Nice.
Yeah, I can rent that
Nice.
out. Yeah.
I can rent that out. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so basically, you're talking to Cine about this, and you're saying, "Hey, look, we think we should hire some additional security for the night, right? To watch the place at night. We want someone along this line of skill set and about X experience. How long do you want it?
7.
6 inches.
I would say the expectation currently is we'll pay up front for a 10-day. With the idea that if this situation is not resolved by that point, the chance for extension.
Okay,
would
so Cine
sound-
will say to in order to try to find someone on short notice and to make sure that that person is good at the job and dedicated to the job, and also not the way Cine says it, he doesn't say it overtly because he's too formal for that, but he basically implies that he wants to make sure that whoever he gets isn't gonna have their palms greased.
Yep.
Right?
Oh,
Hold on, don't these people make like 10 gold a month or some shit?
Yes.
Say what? No.
Yeah.
That's on the high end actually, but
Nope.
I have no
Remember,
idea how much
we
anyone
raised the prices way back when. Audulon,
we really?
your security, for example, he makes 4 gold a week, which is a 10-day.
so we raised minimum wage. So this is how you know.
Yeah,
it's
you
fantasy.
raised minimum wage, basically.
right there you go.
Waterdeep is the city of splendor, not the city of squalor. So
That
No,
is
no,
true.
no, that was a.
Okay,
may
fine,
be
whatever.
trouble
Yeah.
there.
So we need to hire him for a month, is what you're saying?
no. I'm
Is
not
that
saying
what you were getting to?
No. I
I'm
was
gonna
gonna
like-
say in order to make sure that you have someone skilled and they're not just gonna get bribed, Cine is and at short notice, Cine is going to recommend that you be willing to pay someone up front about 15 gold.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Let's whatever.
I give him 20 gold and say do what you can.
We'll make it happen. You also note, because I was not sure what the fuck you guys were gonna do. After making these arrangements, your staff members are suddenly breathing sighs of relief.
Mhm.
And the
Yay, we
mood
did good,
lightens
guys.
quite a bit within the tavern, because for a second
They
there,
actually care about
Wait,
us.
wait, wait.
for a
Should we-
second there, to your staff, it looked like you guys were gonna just be like, "Oh, well, it's resolved. and then go about your fucking business for the day.
I just want to point this out. I actually suggested
Because that was part of the
shutting
discussion.
down.
You did, absolutely. You did, 100%. But, like, generally speaking, there was a lot of discussion about, oh, what do we want to do today? Oh, well, I've got to go do this thing, and I want to go sell some stuff, etc., etc. And your staff was listening to this, and they were like...
Do they fucking care?
Like, are we gonna deal with this? Right? And there's still a little bit of an air of that, but now that it seems like you guys are making arrangements, the mood is lightening.
So we're getting a rogue, right?
We don't know what we're getting.
I was about to say maybe we should try getting a ranger that has the detect poison spell and make it part of his duty to make sure that nothing we have is poisoned.
That sounds like more expensive.
Yes, but it seems like a more guaranteed way to make sure that we don't kill anybody.
If they do their job, no one will die.
All right.
I saw Jay teetering on the do I want to continue arguing this point or not?
Pick your battles.
It was entertaining to watch the little figures on your shoulder figure out which one to go in.
I mean, if you want to see how much that's going to cost, but that's a second level ranger. Second level rangers aren't cheap.
Yeah.
I guess, or a first level druid.
Yeah, we look for the druid.
All right, cool. So you speak to Cine about making those arrangements. What else? What's going on?
All right, cool.
Oh, go for it.
No, I don't have anything.
After that, then I make my way to the library.
Okay, so Ezra's gonna head to the library. Matashtai is planning on shopping excursion.
You have that list, Matt? That list of stuff from last week in the chat?
Yeah, I think you just had it in chat.
Bones is gonna try to pit stop his poisoner and then go get a workday in with Ochotu.
Yeah, I'm taking exactly.
Ashes.
Well, if we're just gonna hire somebody to be our tavern watchdog for a while, I guess I would make an effort to go to the House of the Moon today and forego a workday to I guess kind of get to know some people.
Okay,
cool.
We got stuff happening.
Help out.
Okie dokie then. Let's take this in turn.
I'm deleting all that bullshit from my sheet, Mitch.
Matashtai.
Yeah.
You leave.
You leave.
Yeah, basic.
Is snowy is not super snowy, but it's snowy. You got a shit ton of stuff to sell. Are you carrying all this? Can it all fit in your bag? Have you
No, because it was 400 pounds in my bag.
But I was gonna get my horse.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're gonna get your horse. How much are you trying to carry around here?
Well, so what doesn't fit in my bag is 6 scale mails, 5 silvery medals, according to Zach.
It's 380-ish pounds total. All that shit.
Okay. Gotcha. You might run into some minor complications that are frustrating to deal with, but they're not insurmountable. We're not going to worry about them. One of the main issues being is your horse, once saddled up and with the carrying packs and everything like that you own. What's your horse's name again?
Gallant.
Gallant.
Galacrond.
So you head over, right, and you bring out Gallant, and the actual, like, the stable hands, they'll, what is it? They'll warm him up, lather him up, that whole thing, right? So that he's not having issues as he kind of, like, begins to work in the cold. And what you run into isn't necessarily a problem of weight, but it's a problem of space, because, like, 6 scale mails, for example, like, your horse can carry that capacity-wise, but it's odd trying to stuff those all into packs and satchels and things like that, you know? I think there's some kite shields in there too, right? No?
I don't have any kite. Well, so any shields went in the bag.
Oh, shields went in the bag. Okay, so it's not. It's just a bunch of weird parts and pieces. And again, that's not an insurmountable obstacle. It's just an annoying obstacle. You have to play jigsaw for a little bit. You have to, like, try out a couple different combinations. Some of the stablers kind of, like, help you out trying to figure out how you're gonna do this. But eventually, you get it situated and done, and you are off to the races, so to speak. Now, unless you are overly interested, actually, I say, what's your plan? What are you trying to do to sell this stuff?
Well, so first I was going to take it to a blacksmith to see how much they would give me for it.
Okay.
If they're offering just, like, the same price as normal scale mail, then I'd like to get it appraised by someone who cares about history and whatnot.
Sure.
So maybe, I don't know if, like, the Font of Knowledge has, like, a university and stuff like that all attached to it. Go there and see if someone can appraise it there.
All right, gotcha. So yeah, one of the things you can do immediately is just take the items to fuck me, my brain.
Embrick and that other guy?
Embrick and Avi, yeah.
Avi, that's it.
To the Steam and the Steel, that's what it's, I believe. But they will tell you pretty quickly, right, that it's good material. They can pay you for it, but let me double check before I lie. I'm right here.
You were right. You were
I gotta
wrong.
pop to multiple different levels. Okay, we're here and here. Double check. Yeah, so they can tell you that everything is very well made. It's in excellent condition, and they can pay you full price for it. But it's likely that, and right, they only know so much. But you kind of like tell them, hey, we found it at this, this type of scenario. They're like, yeah, there's the potential that you could find, if you can find a collector or a person interested in buying it as a lot, you might be able to make a lot more.
Okay. Then I will set off to find a collector.
Okay. So doing that is going to involve you having to schmooze some people, having to try to do some investigation and track down some stuff. I'm actually gonna do a little throwback, and you are free to shoot this down. However, you have Matashtai has 2 NPCs in his pocket that he created contacts with when you were doing your carousing, right, at the Yawning Portal. That you basically have 2 NPCs that you can just be like, oh, this NPC is a contact for this type of thing. Now, this NPC might not be a collector itself. If you want it to be, then that could be the situation. But this NPC might be more of like a middleman or a go-between for that type of stuff, that type of work, right?
Okay.
If you're interested in that, we could go that route. Otherwise, you're gonna have to just try to go it alone and figure out how to track someone down in the city.
Let's use some contacts.
Okay, so we will create a contact then. So this contact is going to be...
If it helps, so my background is Far Traveler. So I have a feature called All Eyes on You. Your accent, mannerism, figures of speech, blah, blah, blah. Make it easier to schmooze with people who may be interested in faraway lands.
Ooh, nice.
Lords, scholars, merchant princes.
Awesome, fantastic. All right.
The GAD effect.
Who is this NPC, Mitch? It's your NPC. You get to make it.
I get to make him?
You get to make it. Who are they? What are they? Why are they? I mean, I'll fill in the blanks, but like, tell me some basics. What do we got?
His name is Severus.
If you want to think about it for a second, we can come back to you.
Like how much detail do you need from me?
All I need is like a name, a gender, and a species.
Okay.
And I can fill in the blanks. But like, if you want to spruce it up, you're more than welcome to, because it's your contact. We're basically spawning this person into the world to suit the need that you have stumbled upon, and that's your reward for successfully carousing earlier on in the game.
Okay, I'm gonna say it is an old, wizened elf lady who is a scholar, and she was one of the first people to interview me after the airship crashed in the bay, because she is intrigued by antiquities and strange objects.
Got a name?
No. I will go to elf name randomizer.
Sure, okay. Hey, we gotta make something somehow, right? This NPC could end up being like a very sought after, enjoyable NPC that we use on multiple occasions. Or it could just be the antiquities NPC. Just
Okay,
like Bones has a poison guy.
Apparently her name is Shalara Silrake.
All right.
Shalara like him.
Fantastic. Okay. So, because of your former successful contact with Shalara, you are able to track her down and begin a discussion with her. So she is going to present to you some options. She herself is not necessarily a collector, right? But or at least not a collector of what you're offering, dwarven armaments, right, from the Malarkin age. But she can do one of two things for you. She can either buy the lot off of you for probably a lower price than what you would get, right? But because she would be the intention would be she would have to turn around and do the work to sell it, right? Or she can put out some feelers and get you an audience or an interview with someone else, but she wants a cut, basically. And you're probably going to get more money out of that in the long run, but it might take a little bit of time, right? Finding someone, setting up a situation might take a couple days to actually get that resolved.
I think that's fine. Like, I don't think we have a need for the stuff to be liquid right now anyway, so...
Okay.
So yeah, I would say I think that sounds fine. We can keep the stuff holed up at the manor until we find a buyer.
Okay.
And then I would just give her a heads up that we're in and out of Undermountain, so it may take a day or two for us to respond when she finds a buyer.
She has your contact information. She knows where you're located at, so she will leave missives if required. and she's not sure how long it's going to take to get a bite on something like this. So it might take her a couple days. She thinks no more than a week at most, in order to find a buyer and get it resolved.
Okay.
She wants 10%.
What does she have a fucking estimate?
I think 10 is a reasonable number. She's doing all the footwork.
You
Does
don't, you don't want to see if she has an estimate, like an estimate per.
Does
If it's-
10%
if it's-
make a difference?
If it's 10%, we're only getting 50 per. We might as well just sell to the blacksmiths because they like us already.
Well, Jeremy specifically said that we're getting more doing it this way.
50 is more than 45, but then she takes 10%, which puts it at 45.
Oh shit!
It's more work. I'm just asking.
Just for that, I'm not going to ask her that.
Okay,
That's your
then.
prerogative. I mean, you're the one there. I'm just.
All right,
That,
fair
that
enough.
seems like a Zach move. I approve, Mitch.
Very nice.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Shalara is astounded by your trust, and she has adored your attitude.
Fuck
That's one of the
off.
reasons why she felt such a wonderful connection with you when she interviewed you, Matashtai. You have such a some would call it naive, but to her it's an open and honest personality that she finds truly refreshing. She absolutely is not going to fleece you in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
All right,
Welcome
cool.
back.
Awesome. Now, going through the motions of that do take a little bit of time. Basically to the point where I don't think you would be able to get in a work day doing anything else, but you would be able to run some other errands potentially throughout the day.
Yeah,
So-
really, I'm only just trying to offload some of this other stuff.
All right. Well, so
Nothing
we'll go
goes.
ahead and we'll end with your scenario, and we will I'll do a pit stop back at you before we're done. So if you think of anything else, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Bones.
Hello.
Bones. Bones.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, what are you doing first?
Poisoner.
Got ya.
I don't know. People at night don't really wake up early.
Yeah, is that what happens?
No, we've had quite the morning already. They're probably awake.
All right. I am 100% willing to admit when I have fucked up. I do not believe that I kept the person's name. Do you remember the person's
Yeah, I
name?
did not write it down. So
Okay. So
I just know I got a guy. I think it was a woman actually.
all right, you head to your poisoner. You have to use a couple of, like... You don't just waltz down the street and head into the shop type scenario, right? Like, there's signs, that you read as a thief. There's times, there's signals, etc. But when you do enter into the shaded, seedy shop, you being there is understood, and your person, your lady poisoner, is there, ready and waiting for whatever you need. So, what do you want?
I'm being and speaking. Though the sun has just risen, the day has progressed wildly. The dogs are unhappy with their meal, and it appears to have upset their stomach. I seek the cause of their upset stomachs.
She nods, and she says, difficult to determine a cause without the food itself.
Luckily, a sample has come and presented itself.
If one has the proper knowledge and motivation, then they could indeed discover what ails your mutts.
I'm willing to provide such motivation.
Okay. So she kind of like puts a hand down on the table and she basically like flashes a sign. And it's clear to you that before you proceed, she wants 10 gold.
All right, I go 10 gold.
Okay. She slides it across the counter, doesn't even like really like inspect it or anything like that. These types of dealings are all predicated on trust. And if
Yeah.
you don't have trust, you're dead. Right?
Yeah, it's the whole table thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, she just immediately sweeps it into the side of the counter, turns, and she pulls back a slight curtain, and you can see basically like a little weird alchemy set that's set up in an. It's basically like a chemistry station, right? Is how we would kind of look at it. And she has to take like 15-20 minutes. There's a little bench that you can set at next to the counter. And she has to take a little bit of time, but afterwards, she kind of like rubs her brow, and she turns around and kind of like walks across to the wall, and she moves a what looks like a little box off the side of the wall, and there's like a big stuffed parrot there, right? Okay, and she yanks on its tail feathers, and the thing like animates like an animatronic, right? And its beak opens, and it goes, ha, ha, ha. It just repeatedly, right? And she just kind of like
Okay.
waves you over.
Okay.
The noisemaker.
So she's
Feels like an
she's
alarm.
basically turned on this fucking
Oh,
noisemaker.
I understand. Okay, yeah, hell yeah, I come over there.
And you get this, like, you look at her and she's like, this is too complicated for whoever you're dealing with. Really wants you dead. This is a deadly cocktail and expensive as all get. There's assassin's blood in here, midnight tears, pale tincture, torpor, malice, wyvern poison. This probably costs someone 1,000 or more to try to kill you. Whatever you've done, you've pissed off the wrong person.
Sure, fair, yep. It's fair enough. You heard anybody rich? You heard any rich people in the market lately?
Most of the ones that I know, the ones that I do business with, aren't stupid enough to buy all of this in one place. Most of the ones that I know aren't stupid enough to buy all of this. Some of this stuff is pretty nasty, even if you just get a drop of it on your own skin.
Damn, I wonder if it was
Damn.
followed.
And he drank it.
I sure did. It was delicious.
She actually will tell you that the cocktail itself is probably less deadly than each of the poisons is individually, because a lot of the mixture is counteracting what most of those poisons are doing.
Okay,
Right?
So we're dealing with an idiot then.
Yeah, it's a person, like, whoever did this did not do it deliberately to make it worse. They did it because they didn't have a fucking clue what they were doing. That's the way that she describes it. By the way, her
So
name
you
is
find out
Jian.
where in Waterdeep you
Leon.
can get all 5 of those in one place.
Oh, for sure, guy bought them all at once. Okay, Gian?
Close, but no cigar.
Ghain?
Oh, there's an apostrophe in there.
There's an
wow.
apostrophe in that one.
And no
Poison.
No H's. I am.
no,
You have burned me of the H's. I will never H
H
again.
to be found.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna replace all H's with apostrophes.
Absolutely, that's the plan.
Okay, well, cool. Interesting. Huh. So you say it burn the skin, huh?
And the whole time, by the way, this is just ka!
Okay, well, cool.
Ask her where you can buy all of those in one place, if she knows of any.
Sure. Is there any place you can buy it all in one place?
She said, any place like this, you could probably buy it all in one place. It's just who's going to be stupid enough to sell it all to you at one time. I wouldn't. And
Yeah, and I wouldn't
most
either.
of my contacts wouldn't. For a price, I could put an ear out, though. Whoever's dumb enough to do this isn't doing the rest of us any favors. So I don't imagine anyone's going to be displeased if they're gone.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's do it.
Man, getting a paper trail on this guy is...
So she'll tell you that's going to be pricier, and that's dangerous investigative work, because if someone found out, they could
Yeah.
come back after
You don't
a breach of
sti-
trust.
Stitches get stitches. I get it. How much?
50 gold.
Yeah, all right. I give her 5 plat.
Is all right.
Snitches get stitches.
She says it might take a few days, no more than 3. If you haven't heard from me in that time, I'm dead.
Noted. Well,
God.
don't die till you die.
Fucking brutal.
Don't die until you die.
That's right.
And
Words
who
uttered
is she
by-
supposed to relay this information to?
Words uttered by a famous orc. Fuck, I don't know. Me?
What if you're underground for the next
3 days.
week?
Well, we've hired a watcher.
So are they supposed to report to the Watcher their findings?
Okay. Oh, let's establish a dead drop. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay.
Hmm.
Now I'm speaking Zach's language. Nice.
Okay.
If you need to think about it, we can come back to you.
All right. This is what. There is a. No, that's my shop. That would be too obvious. There is a bookstore on Troll Skull Alley.
She smiles and says, the page turner.
Yes, the page turner. Please. Oh, okay. Drop the. Sorry, what? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's drop the information at dusk and light that candle, light that lamp. When you have it, and I'll have someone pick it up.
Where exactly is the drop?
What kind of fascia does the page turner have?
So wait, say what?
What kind of fascia signage?
Oh, it's actually got a green. Oh no, not a green. It's a gold dragon wormling. That's kind of like if I'm remembering correctly, curled up around a book. And it looks like it's kind of like turning the page of a book. It's got no. I don't think it has any like letters, like an actual like name on it.
Is
It's
it like
just,
hanging or is it like?
Yeah, it's no, it's mounted to the front of the building.
Okay, yeah. Just stick it behind the sign.
All right. Gotcha.
You're the best, Jan.
All right. Cool. So you finish with that. Head back out and make your way to the Wormbone, where you eat with Ochotu, I'm assuming, and try to knock it out workday.
Yes.
Okay. With your powers combined, you are able to complete your current special project.
Woo!
Do you want to give anything? Because I don't know what your plans are from now on. Do you want to give Ochotu any particular instructions for the future, or are you just going to let him wing it over the course of however long?
Fuck.
Do you have any things you want to drop off with him?
Yes, I will drop off my 4 Umber Hulk mandibles.
Okay.
Do I wanna
Now,
drop my
when I
slide?
say drop off with him, I'm saying, is there anything you're handing over to him to do with as he pleases?
Oh, yeah. I mean, whatever. Sure. I mean, okay, hold on. Let me check the quality.
Because remember, like his goal is to start producing smaller things that he can just sell out of the storefront while you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, I put the Umber Hulk mandibles with the rest, and he's able to do with as he pleases with anything of uncommon rarity and below.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you have that all marked out on your bone list, right?
it is in my character sheet.
But
Yes.
I don't know if
I'll
I
just
might have
reference
missed it or whatever, but I will at least want to call attention to it. The Bone Tana was completed as of yesterday.
I've already got it.
Yep, he
Okay.
picked it up last night.
Yeah, the Bone Tana.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will do that, and just try and build the business.
Okay.
Build
Sounds like a
this-
plan. All right. So that is workday for you.
I keep my rare slot legs, but I drop off everything that's uncommon. So right slot arm, left slot leg, Umber Hulk mandibles.
Okay, cool. All right, Ezra, you head to the Font of Knowledge. What you find within, right? Barely thawed scholars whose dedication to learning and library management outweighs their hatred of the cold.
Brethren,
What do you want to accomplish today? What's your plan?
after the research from the previous day and collecting my thoughts around the cause of our boons and banes, I want to try and find any information on the portals themselves or a way to protect from the entity that is impacting us. Trying to find a preventative measure or better understanding to mitigate.
Roll me that library check.
Now, as a heads up, with Tasha's, I now get magical guidance now that we're going to have me start rolling skill checks.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty much like a lock.
Yep.
And I have my spectacles, so I think that gives me advantage.
I thought
think
spectacles was advantage on investigation.
Isn't that what researching is?
Nope, history.
History
Oh
is-
yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, history is your your library use skill. Basically, is how I function it.
I am gonna go ahead and use my sorcery point and reroll that.
Okay. Do you have to use the reroll, or can you choose between the two?
You have to use the reroll.
Okay, cool.
A 16.
16.
One better. It was worth it.
Yeah. So
Might not matter, but
you picking up where you left off, right? You try to now turn your attention from knowledge about what it is you're facing to solutions on how to face it. Initially, you start your search by trying to track down information about the portals within Undermountain themselves, which you find to be almost a futile experience. Not because you can't find discussions or entries or things like that about the portals. It's just all of them are about different fucking portals that you've never even heard of.
Okay.
You even go so far as trying to investigate and corroborate portals on floors that you already know, and you either find no information about the portals that you are aware of, or you find you find information about portals in the same location as you know other portals to be that are not the portals you know them to be. It heavily insinuates to you
Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
that this is hardly static, and it's going to be very difficult to find information from a solid front on the portals themselves. You do find a bit more when it comes to when you turn your direction from the portals and more towards using your knowledge now of the Elder Runes as a basis. You find very little about the shadow beneath Undermountain. You find a couple of mentions here or there, so you don't get much success with that. But you are able to kind of like piggyback off of your research yesterday and find that there are discussions about counters to elder magic. Specifically Elder Runes in this case.
Okay.
Part of the problem that you're running into, though, is that the vast majority of the counters that you're able to research at this point are not feasible counters to implement. I.e., for example, one of the counters discussed in one of the ancient Netherese treaties that you read through it is basically a cadre of 100 elven high mages ritually casting high magic to defeat another cadre of Netherese mages using Elder Runes.
Plausible. What are you talking about?
Right? Absolutely plausible, right? So it's that type of situation of like you find some information, but it's not practical information yet. You do, however, find enough that is tantalizing that it implies to you that there might be workable answers for you. You just haven't found them yet.
Okay.
Okay. And that is Ezra's workday. Mama. Oh, Ashes. Ashes.
Whoa, Ashes!
Heads across the city, makes his way to the Temple of the Moon. And as you walk up the steps, the attendants greet you, open the doors for you, head within to the spire. Your medallion.
He's walking in a
Sound like a
normal
cell phone that won't
pace.
shut up. I'll put it on silent.
Put it on silent. Oh my
I mean,
god.
that's a bonus action, I believe.
Okay.
Pizza.
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 We're gonna make a pizza.
Did I happen to say?
Was that an actual song?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh, and it's amazing.
it's
Rolling
magical.
later. It was sung by Mary Kate and Ashley.
Oof. Okay, so you head to the Temple of the Moon. What's your plan? What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I'll go in and whoever I speak to, I'll just say I've come to help out. That's the first intent. Is we owe a lot to them. I owe a lot to them, and I want to start fulfilling, some kind of, way of thanks.
We do be owing.
Like,
Okay.
I'm not strapped with money at the moment, so
No. And the attendant that you're speaking to, she looks at you with kind of like these soft, warm eyes, and then there's kind of like she gives you this grin, and you have this kind of like shaky feeling, like you've suddenly walked into a trap, right? And if she basically just takes you through the tower through a series of rooms into what is basically kind of like an assembly line. And if you don't like fuss about it or anything, she basically puts you to work.
I mean, yeah.
So
Yeah,
she
doing
puts
what? Biting people?
she puts you to work. There's
more for the
there's an
Lycan
assembly
army.
line of attendants, of acolytes that work in the Temple of the Moon, or of volunteers like yourself. And what you find yourself actually doing is putting together what look to be like, visually, probably the best way I can describe them is small mesh bundles of potpourri. But it is explained to you that in actuality what they are bundles of healing
Joy.
herbs and roots and things like that, that the Temple of the Moon spreads out to the citizens of Waterdeep to burn, and one of these bundles will burn over the course of a couple days to a week. And what it does is it helps invigorate people, it helps cure certain ailments, and it's basically one of the things that they do during the winter to help the citizens of Waterdeep, because a lot of people can't get out, right? They can't seek medical aid or things like that necessarily if they're ill because of the weather, etc. So you get put to work putting these things together. At first, it seems incredibly simple, almost tedious. It's about 15 minutes, though, before you get stabbed the first time by one of these little sharp, prickly twigs. And as that happens, your nostrils flare and your eyes flash, right? And you breathe blood, and it is a snap instant for you to not transform.
Oh God.
And you see everyone else in the line kind of like turn and look, and some of the closer ones are kind of like they lean back a little bit, but every single one of them has this knowing look in their eyes. After a very brief second and a secondary look through some of the ingredients that you're bundling into these, your training kicks in and you realize one of these is Wolfsbane.
Oh.
Which is somewhat of an issue to lycanthropes. And you a quick glance around the room, and you can see most of the people here have like little nicks on their hands or things like that. And all of them are, you can't tell because you have turned off your hum, but all of them are looking at you with this knowing smile.
Sorry.
First time.
I'm kind of new here.
Okay. It is, as I said at first, simple work. But with this kind of like little newfound hiccup, it becomes a somewhat arduous task. You find yourself you prick yourself on a number of occasions throughout the hours that you set about this task.
Oh boy.
And afterwards, your hands are kind of numb and your arms are a little tingly. You're tired. You're kind of exhausted, and you realize that the repeated exposure to the Wolfsbane is having a somewhat adverse effect on you. As it becomes, say what?
It's training. It's helping me to better build up my walls.
As you kind of come to a close, a hand touches your shoulder, and you turn and you see one of the wardens, clad in wolf furs and gleaming armor. He looks male, elven, and he's got kind of like these brown, intermittent mottled, kind of like brown and chocolate dreads.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at you, says, "How was your first day?"
Surprising for such mundane work. I wasn't expecting the little prize hidden in there.
Arms numb?
A little tingly.
I remember. This is how I started.
You really look like you kind of moved up.
You could too.
Yeah?
If you want. We hope to see you again soon.
Ashes, by the way.
Severin.
Oh, I thought for sure you were gonna hit him with no.
Say what? Oh, I know.
I know, and walks off.
Oh no, I
rude.
thought it was gonna be more of like a, and then walks away.
I walk away. I'm so cool.
That dude doesn't look at explosions.
But after the introductions, he does kind of give you a nod, and then he keeps going. He moves around the room and has a little bit of small talk with several of the other workers in this kind of like assembly line. And there's not really any pomp and circumstance or anything like that. There's not really like no one comes to you aside from that. It's just you see all of these people who are accustomed to this whole scenario. Some of them collect belongings that they had stowed around the perimeter of the room, and they all filter out. Some of them you see go to different locations within the temple itself, but a lot of them just leave the temple entirely.
Okay. Does it seem like the work is generally done?
It does.
For the day?
Yeah. You have
Right,
you have completed a workday.
Okay.
Work will set you free.
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah. I will go.
Right. Mark some quick.
currently being groomed for Temple of the Moon.
Oh yeah, currently being groomed, baby.
All right. Do you want to keep track of this, or do you want me to just do it?
I mean, I'll create a resource for it if you want me to.
You can set your reputation with the Wardens of the Moon to 1.
Damn, big jump.
Nice.
It is done.
It is done.
All right. So, anybody else have anything that they want to touch base on before we reconvene back at the Lifted Spirits?
Well, so I still had a couple things to sell. Could I sell those off real quick?
Yeah, sure. If they're just
You're
like
nicks
finding,
and necks.
yeah, if they're finding a place and just selling them, then you're fine. It's trying to find a collector or something like that is the more involved process.
No, it's like the silvery metals and like dwarven wedding triptych,
Okay.
funeral shroud, like.
Do you have a list of the stuff that you have?
Yeah, I'll just post it into.
Okay, post it, and I'll tell you what we'll do. We're about to go on break here in just a few, and what I'll do is during break, I'll look all those things up and give you a receipt for your wares, good sir.
Okay.
Right? Okay,
Oh, hey,
cool.
Can on my way home, can I stop by my gem person and get a price for these gems?
Your gem person? Agita?
Yeah, I got a gem. Yeah, my gem person.
Okay, yeah, you can stop by Agita's.
Why do you say it like that? Is she not my gem person?
She can be your gym person. You walk in, you approach her front lawn, which is like a little crystal swamp on the fucking road in the middle of North Ward Waterdeep. You open her door and it's like walking into an ice cave.
Yeah, I'm resistant to cold. It's fine.
And
I have a ring of warmth. I love this. This is great.
This big, white-knuckled, white, scary lady gives you a big toothy grin and says, came back.
Yeah, this place is the best. What do you mean?
What can I do for bones?
I found all this stuff in the dungeon and would love for you to look at it and appraise it and maybe buy it.
She kind of like glowers like that's not what she wanted to hear. But she's like, trade. Very well.
Oh, what'd you want? You have a job? You mean to do something? You got
I
Quit?
would want you to do something.
Oh, that's really ominous. What?
She kind of squints at you. Perhaps not the type then.
Oh, you meant sexually. No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
I'm more about the coin, you know.
Well enough. All right. Do you also have a copy pasta? God, there's so much. You guys have so much shit. Jesus.
Yeah, we've been down for 8 years.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I will do it right now.
Okay. So assuming that you don't want anything in particular, I'll do the same thing for you as I'm gonna do for Matashtai, and just give you a receipt of what she offers you, basically. Okay.
I have a feeling I don't really want to sell this stuff, but
well, then don't sell it.
Anyway.
I'll give you a receipt, and then you can tell me if you don't want to sell anything, and you can just cut that out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, after these various events and tasks, you head back to the Lifted Spirits. You reconvene. And you meet with your new nightly security.
What if it's just Vincent? He's fallen on hard times.
He's just like, yeah. No, it is a. It is. They are a halfling woman by the name of Leandre.
Leandre, huh? Of the Sword Coast Lionhearts?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Leandre
Never heard of him.
Lionheart? You've never heard of Leandre? Okay. That would have been a cool name, just saying.
All right. And with that point, I think we'll go ahead and go to break. We'll come back, resolve some of these shopping scenarios, and figure out what it is that the party wants to do next. You got a bunch of like pots on the fire, a bunch of like things that need to be taken care of in time-sensitive manners. So we'll see what the plan is when we come back from break. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.